Welcome to my grand finale civilization event, where we accepted nearly 500 players to form societies and defend their land in hardcore mode on the best looking civilizations map of all time. The players in this event could choose one of 5 biomes to call home, each of which had a unique ability or item, adding a twist to the event and opening the door to new types of strategies and base builds. Most of these bonuses are what you might expect to see, such as Nether getting fire resistance, Ocean getting Dolphin's Grace, and End players getting Elytras. Winter was given Resistance 1, and Deep Dark Center was filled with ancient debris to match its underground theme. If you're strictly interested in seeing how this played out on the battlefield, feel free to skip to the timestamps below because some nations did an incredible job at utilizing their biome special traits. And with those abilities in mind, try to envision the type of civilization you would build as these 500 players start their journey. This was the final civilization event I planned on hosting, with the irony being that it took so long for me to finish this video that I actually have a new event planned on a possibly even greater looking map in the near future. So, join the linked Discord below if you're interested in playing in a future event like this. To help the players with making their societies look great, each biome in this event was given a glowing block hub below its spawn, which was first discovered by the End players. In the End biome, all living resources were limited to just its spawn island, making cooperation and planning a top priority. They would find dense ore clusters on that island, and others less commonly scattered around the rest of the region. Those islands had their own mini-biomes, featuring glowing blackstone islands, obsidian mountains, and swirling End highlands. There were also plenty of End City ruins for those players to explore, but with a combination of Elytras and a published overview of the map, those were all looted pretty quickly. A lot of players worked together to form a huge mine at spawn, while others left the area to form their own mines and farms elsewhere. One strategy that was used to optimize ore drops was to reserve as many diamonds as possible for a player with the Fortune 3 pickaxe to mine later. Or at least, that was the plan. The End players had already split into different groups before the event, and quickly bridged out separate directions to reach their claimed islands. The largest of these settlements was Eclipse, who started their civilization on the largest glowing Blackstone island, with a main focus on teamwork as well as banning squeakers. They also worked to optimize the limited number of dirt blocks and animal spawns by starting massive farms as quickly as possible. And with an outline of a future palace started, we can officially add Eclipse to the map as we travel to the other biome with players constantly falling to their deaths, the Nether biome. This was partially due to Nether spawn being right next to a giant hole to the void with a floating island in the middle, but also because players expected lava immunity to come with the same lack of fall damage that water has. In other cases, I have no idea. The Nether biome was a land full of lava oceans and scarce resources, but its underground was completely normal, allowing for players to obtain necessities like water and dirt. It didn't take long for the first base to be started nearby in a cavern below some mountains and floating islands. This area would be known as Fort Knox and would serve as a launching pad for players who died and respawned in the early days of the event. One of those faraway projects was a massive tower that was started by John Fortnite, which would slowly be worked on as everyone else focused their efforts elsewhere. There would end up being a lot of different bases started across the biome, as Nether was more divided than anybody else and had a tribalistic mentality going into the first day. Because of this, a lot of those small settlements were underground with small player counts. Miraculously, all of those groups were able to do an okay job sustaining on their own, but the debate over who would be the future leader plagued the biome. Lots of arguments took place over what other nations Nether would ally with in the future, and who had the right to make those decisions, which did not look promising. Despite this negative outlook though, a group of players from the Safe Travels Construction Company, or STCC for short, collected mass amounts of cobblestone to build roads between all of those different areas. This was quite the effort to undertake, and it would be a while before any results were shown. In the meantime, STCC members and other Nether players took advantage of the crater and lava resistance ability to make mining easier, while others fell into that hole because of their jump first, ask questions later policy. Next, we traveled to the last biome with frequent environmental deaths, the cave biome. The entire Deep Dark region was actually one massive cave, completely closed off from the outside world. This means the biome has a lot in common with the gamers within it since it never experiences the sun. This part of the map was pretty cool though, and featured giant lanterns and glowing stalagmites which doubled as RGB lighting. An additional cool feature was that the entire cave slopes down towards the middle, going so deep that the center of the biome goes all the way to the void. This meant the biome was inversed a little, because the normal caves and underground were actually in the ceiling, with a bedrock roof on top of that at build height limit. Because of all this, the players had to be careful with how they used the small areas with natural terrain and animal spawns. The first group effort was to make several farms at spawn, while others worked on bridges going out from the center island to the rest of the region. Fishing was another good way to get around these problems, which is why we saw multiple docks popping up as time went on. Unlike other regions, Deep Dark had absolutely no main bases started anywhere on day 1, and instead had lots of individual players doing their own thing. This lack of coordination would end up being fine though, as everyone was able to get along peacefully with the occasional farm grief. That was until the first warden showed up.
No. Wait.
Having access to netherite made Deep Dark players very confident in their ability to win wars when the borders eventually opened. This netherite was not allowed to be mined by or given to anyone else, as there were rules against any biome giving away their special items. There was no rule about breaking out of the cave walls, however, as one player wasted no time in making a home at its ceiling. A few others would also do this later, but for now, the main focus was a gold rush on obtaining the limited ancient debris scattered around the center of the region. A lot of Deep Dark's features contrasted heavily with the Crystal Ocean biome. In Ocean, food wasn't an issue at all. Instead, players had vast waterways for fishing, massive trees, and plenty of islands full of animals. Some of those smaller islands would become future building sites for individual builds, while the majority of players started working in two main areas. The first was a farm island located near spawn, and the other was far away next to the edge of the map on top of a small water volcano. There was a much larger water volcano in the center of the map, whose crater's massive depths contained a huge ocean monument. This monument contained the biome's one overpowered item, a feature that each of the map's 5 regions shared. These items gave the holder a decent health or damage boost, or some combination of the two. Other loot structures included abandoned ships and custom ruins honoring the largest teams from past civilization events I've hosted. These were located in the biomes that most closely matched the originals and added a nice touch to the grand finale theme. One of these ruins was found by the very people it honored. A group of players known as Drugboat found it near the border with Winter and decided to build a home out of it. Back at the small water volcano, players had begun clearing and burning trees to create space for their castle outline. This team effort showed a lot of cooperation between Ocean members, who also worked together on a long pathway to connect the two main areas. The end point of this road was the farm island, which players used to travel there at the end of the day to start elections. Similar to the nether biome, Ocean players could take advantage of having waterfalls in their entire border and use them to easily find big caves. This only added to how easy Crystal Ocean players had it compared to everyone else, which included one of their neighbors, the winter biome. In winter, players loaded in to find a completely frozen world where snow and ice covered the entire landscape. They would find plenty of large custom trees, floating islands, and glowing jellyfish. And while the terrain added to the Winter Wonderland theme, it also meant obtaining a variety of blocks was difficult. Unlike the other biomes, the vast majority of players were already united and had agreed to settle in a floating island cluster and accept the outcome of a future leader election. One of those players running for leader, who is also a Civ YouTuber, decided to map out the entire region and took early charge of organizing everyone as well as selecting those floating islands to call home. Once there, players quickly started connecting the islands with bridges and began setting up farms. In the meantime, most individuals would spend the day traveling around the biome, with a sizable group choosing to set up shop in one of the area's ruins, transforming it into a McDonald's. This would only be the first McDonald's, as a secret group of individuals known as the McCult sought to have a McDonald's constructed in every biome. With Resistance 1 and Frostwalker books, winter players had an easier time surviving in their frozen environment, which included swimming to find exposed ores.
Get your ass back here, boy!
There were still a few players making individual builds and underground bases, but with the vast majority settling the 3 floating islands, build progress on those islands took off quickly. The northmost island was considered the main island, the south island would be called TCI, while the eastern island was designated as the farming island. The main island came with a village that already existed and was modified by different players to become homes. The farm island saw the beginning of a huge house, while TCI didn't have too much going on just yet. And with that, we have the end of the final first day, and we can add a pair of Winter's Islands to the world map. Deep Dark would get a chance to redeem themselves on this second day, starting with the completion of a nice house far away from their team's spawn. It would be known as the Tiger House because only people with the word tiger in their names worked on it. This soon changed as a few others joined them in avoiding the chaos at spawn, which was having a few issues with trespassing and team killing. Those who chose to live in peace at spawn though were able to greatly expand the farms and start construction of a tower to the heavens, a large pillar going all the way from the void to the ceiling. Next to them, the huge glowing tree had become a treehouse exclusive to those who had built it, which a few people didn't like. Different pathways and rails had been built for anyone to use around spawn, which made things a little easier for those choosing to live in and explore distant caves. One of those was discovered in a faraway corner of the biome, where players found a massive crystal geode waiting for them. Those scouts quickly summoned others to the area and began work on the nation's first official base there. This started with a huge effort to clear out the area around the entrance, as well as build a secret pathway through the cave wall to the outside world and edge of the biome's borders. In the future, a base would be constructed here, but for now, it was a launching point for a trade with their neighbors in the end biome. This was the first trade to take place in the event, and would be one of many. Teams were allowed to trade all normal items with each other, which frequently meant lava and ender pearls being exchanged. And while end players were open to trading those valuable items, they still were not open to tolerating squeakers of any kind. Early into the second day, Eclipse had identified an annoying individual who didn't sound like he met their minimum age requirement. Because of this, Eclipse leaders decided to ask their members what to do about him, and with the majority of people supporting their motto of killing all squeakers, a public execution was soon held for that player. Your Casual is in the VC with us.
Ronnie, come up here.
Would anyone like to speak on behalf of Eclipse for what Your Casual has been accused of?
Your Honor, Your Casual Val stands accused of having such a high-pitched squeaker voice that it broke the glass for the beacon. For not knowing how to farm wheat due to their chronic glue eating.
So, your casual Val of the end biome has been accused of being squeaky, being a being a twat.
For having the career prospects of a Starbucks barista who was also somehow on the Epstein flight list.
Asking too many questions, and abusive and irrelevant communication.
For having no friends outside of other children who follow him for his PvP skill, despite him being low tier 5 at best.
As well as losing our diamond pickaxe that we gave him. Oh, we left the game.
Oh my god.
Combat log.
Wait, he left Eclipse.
Yeah.
He left the entire Discord.
Well, guilty as charged.
Yep, guys, GG, we're so good at this.
May he rest in peace.
no, he rage quit.
When the execution was over, Eclipse players went back to expanding their farms and turning their settlement into a city. Work had begun on a large storage hangar that was smartly designed to only be accessible by elytra, slowing down any potential theft in the future. They also were smart about designing other aspects of the base for elytra use, which included the construction of multiple water columns that allowed them to jump off and fly away. These launch towers would be built in multiple places around the biome over time, with their locations memorized by everyone on the team as communication and teamwork continued being their biggest strength. Not everything was perfect in the End region though, as Eclipse had a rival team forming to the north of their territory, the End Federation. The End Federation and Eclipse were not friendly with each other, and instead constantly fought each other in meme wars on Discord, which we can all agree is the most important battle of any Civ event. And while the Federationists didn't have nearly as grand builds as their rivals in Eclipse were making, they did have a similar mentality to several of the various tribes in Nether. Nether had been suffering from infighting for a while now, with most players building tiny bases and focusing on gearing up and campaigning for leader more than anything else. A few of the larger groups within Nether continued acting like they represented the nation by doing things like organizing trades with other biomes and planning roadways between each other's areas while ignoring the noise from the smaller factions. Soon, these differences would be put to the test as Nether organized an official leader election outside of the newly formed Bone Society.
Candidates just stand up here whenever they're ready, whenever everyone's ready.
Brothers and sisters, we will build a society together as one team. We may be factions, we may be other groups, brothers and sisters, but we are one team united. We are the Nether, and no one shall stop us. For when they die, they enter hell and join us once more.
Yeah, so, as many of you may already know, my name is Purple Hoser Dude.
My campaign has been fairly simple. The only way we can win this event is if I win the election, because I would do anything to make sure our team wins this event to the point of self-sacrifice.
It will not separate us into factions and make us fight among each other. We must act as one. We must fight as one. We must survive as one. Is 6 teams, 5 teams, whatever you all say you're part of. I respect your groups, but in the end, when it comes to war, when it comes to conflict, we must be one unit.
The reason I believe I'm most qualified is because whether we're in the trenches or fighting in our sky bases, I'll protect you. Yeah, purple for the win.
Praise be.
Praise be.
With not a cult leader elected as the King of Nether, a wave of peace took over the biome as almost everyone felt confident in his unifying speech. There were, of course, a few individuals who were upset at losing the election, who then started plotting the overthrow and assassination of their leader from the shadows of their secret underground bases. For everyone else, a much calmer time, which included a visit and a trade from a player in winter. Over in winter, the 3 floating islands had become the main area for the entire biome, and we would not see any major settlements anywhere else. What we did see was further development of each of those islands, including actual bridges between them and a wooden wall surrounding the main one. Houses started being built on TCI, a huge cabin on the farming island, and the foundation for a massive town hall started on the main island. Underground, a skeleton spawner was found and turned into a slowness arrow grinder using powder snow found on top of their mountains. This was also used to level up and obtain enchanted gear, even by the skeletons themselves.
Be advised, hostile care package inbound.
Back at the main island, Winter was setting up their leader election, which featured a lot of different candidates whose main statements will be shown here.
Honestly, I think we should overthrow the government. You know what I mean? Like, the government always lies to us. Like, we gotta fight back, unionize. We gotta start building, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Hello everyone, this is me. I've been working on designing this entire place in creative in preparation for this event. I've been leader before in season 5, I think. I was leader of the mushroom team. And we didn't do great because half of the server was against us, but that's besides the point. I'm just super pumped to be here, and I just really want to help this place be as powerful as it can be, as amazing as it can be, as beautiful as it can be. And all I gotta say is, I'm jacked in preparation.
Thank you, Hex. Hi there, I'm Elite Eric, and I am running for the Winter King, and if you vote for me, I will uphold peace and order for our great region, and I have a lot of ideas that will secure us as the most victorious region. Every one of us united under one banner makes up the Winter region. We the people are great, and nobody can tell us otherwise. So I'll end with a quote that I take to heart. If you fail to plan, then plan to fail. So join me as I plan to siege victory from all enemies.
Let's go. All right. We have to overthrow the government, and once we do that, we'll be unstoppable.
No one asked for you to be here.
With an upset victory over the other candidates, Thunder Underline was able to pull it off without even giving a speech, winning the closest vote we would see in any nation.
Fear me!
This was different from the situation we would see in Crystal Ocean, where a very long election had taken place, with accusations of the council rigging the election in their favor. In reality, the council was backed by a large group of players who play together in multiple events, but in this case, those players were heavily divided on who got to participate in the council and who would be the main leader with the crown. A few Nether players decided to defect from their home team and join the ocean biome, setting up shop in a small island town called Dorsidon. This town was also known as the Mudkip area, as it featured multiple pixel arts of that Pokemon. Those players left Nether to get away from all the infighting, and instead dedicated themselves to becoming NPCs inside one of the buildings, offering enchanted lily pads to anyone who entered. Most of Ocean's time for the day was spent on build progress, and on the election, which would spill over into the next day. One player was mad that they were not allowed to be a part of the council, and decided to leave that group and join Drugboat, attempting to persuade them and other Crystal Ocean groups to join him in a civil war against that council. Giga's efforts would soon be exposed in DMs to other players, however, causing a group of Ocean players to join together in assassinating him.
Giga, they're in your boat. Get out of there. Oh god.
Wait, what am I getting hit for?
Go away.
Oh my god.
Giga, no.
What? Why?
Guys, retreat. Retreat.
This move would ultimately backfire, however, as the players of both Jugboat and Poseidon met together, vowing revenge on the other members of Ocean.
What Hannah has done, despicable, disgusting. Novachi, what they did, it was low, it was dirty.
Some coincidence. They come to me, they kill me, and they message me, go ahead, if you want to stand up again, go ahead, see what happens. And I'm gonna stand up again, and I want to tell you guys that we gotta start grinding. We gotta cut these trees down, we gotta make some type of civilization, because we can't live like this.
Pretty much, if you're not in full Prot 2 Diamond Armor, go down to the cave, start Medic. You're not allowed to come back up until you get full Diamond Armor with Diamond Tools. And for the people who do have Prot 2, I want you farming for carrots and stuff like that. I want you building structures, I want you building towers, I want you building defenses. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna plan on how we're gonna get revenge against them. Because I think that assassination attempt was actually kind of good, because it united us instead of divided us. I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Let's shake hands, friend. Yeah. Coalition is formed.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Without hardcore on just yet, this meant players killed in this way could still respawn without any of their items, which was still a pretty big punishment. Back at the castle, another tragedy had taken place as the Mick Church got Mick griefed by Mick criminals. This Mick crime would go unpunished as Mick Church enthusiasts instead brought their Mick enthusiasm to the castle by spreading French fries and McDonald's symbols everywhere. Other players continued building individual houses, farms, and docks at the front of the castle, making it the main area for the Mick future of the biome. This contrasted heavily with the Deep Dark biome, which did not experience any significant events on this third day. Instead, we saw a lot more coordinated building projects on massive scales continued inside of the Crystal Geode area. These builds did a nice job at matching the Crystal Cave's overall theme, while other groups continued their own takes on cave-related builds, which included a few self-described... let's just shorten that to 12-year-olds. The older players of Deep Dark continued expanding the Tiger House area, while the rest of the nation was busy focusing on obtaining the last netherite before anyone else could. There was a developing problem with players hoarding that netherite, as several people stashed as much as they possibly could inside of end chests, and in some cases, left the event to never return. Another biome heavily affected by players leaving was the End biome, who would often see people rage quitting after skill issuing into the void. Those who survived nearly all lived in Eclipse at this point, expanding the city with multiple builds, towers, and an official bridge to Spawn Island. The chest hangar had been completed, and the palace in the sky heavily worked on as it remained the main focus of the biome. There were still others living at Spawn, and in the End Federation, but they would hardly resemble the community that Eclipse had formed. That said, it's entirely possible that one player had slipped past their no-child policy. Next, we leave the most organized biome and head to the previous least organized one in Nether. Their leader and the road builders of STCC had been continuing their effort to piece together the various tribes of Nether, which would end up being a major success. Fort Knox, however, would end up getting abandoned as time went on, as players left their basic netherrack houses in favor of joining the Bone Society or living around the Great Tower. John Fortnite's tower would continue being modified and improved as he used multiple cast systems to test lava flow, the first of which occurred on this third day. The discontent players of Nether would end up creating a fun way to vent their frustrations, as a duel was held inside of the Bone Society's fossil base. Players and mods from throughout the area gathered to watch two of the losing candidates from the election duke it out together.
Everybody shut up! Everybody shut up!
Fight!
I don't know, bro, my phone didn't affect you. No way!
Bro, these fake potatoes feel like no reason.
This is looking pretty crazy, dang.
Oh shit, where the hell did purple go?
The stands! Go back down there.
I'm going.
Alright, downtown pole. Thank you.
Well played.
I don't even care.
No, I went. I totally went. He ran away.
Yeah, no.
With the forfeit by teleportation, L1L was left with the ultimate flex and could say that he was him. The same could not be said for whoever decided to build this house though. Now, we travel to the neighboring biome in winter. The winter biome would experience a largely peaceful day, but it would only be a matter of minutes before a griefer was caught, killed, and banned from the event. With that traitor out of the way, everyone else could continue working on their builds and making funny signs to make fun of each other. They also held meetings at the election site to further organize the biome, while some individuals protested the result of that election. And with Deep Dark having finally chosen a leader, we can now take a look at the completed leader map, including build progress up to this point, before returning to the winter biome to start the 4th day of the event. Winter had a lot more going on day 4, starting with the completion of a house and the Great Lodge on the farming island. The house was turned into a public enchanting room, while the lodge had become a residence for everyone who had built it and more. The island had also become a general hangout area, as players met there to trade items, acquire food, and drop off blocks for builds on the other 2 floating islands. The only thing Winter was missing at this point was their leader, who was nowhere to be seen. Thunder Underline also missed the following few days, causing Elite Eric to take matters into his own hands and bring his own group out on a journey across the world while others took care of business at home. And with the main players entering Nether for a peaceful visit, simultaneously a strike order was given to assassinate someone for refusing to give up the winter biome's special item.
You can't get them, they're in the chest. Leave. Yeah, that's more, I guess.
This effort was ultimately futile, as Brown Ninja continued holding the special boots in his ender chest for days to come. Over in Nether, the Winter Squad followed the outlines of their massive road system and met up with representatives from the STCC and Bone Society, bringing a cow with them as part of their trade agreement. Luckily, no shots were fired, as Nether gave permission to the Winter players to travel through their biome as they made their way to the Crystal Ocean region. Nether themselves didn't have too much happening at this point, but they did get an opportunity to show off the progress on the tower, which continued expanding outwards layer by layer. It was in front of that tower where I found a highly questionable farm full of weird player head symbols and signs. There was also a funny sign in End who had a different type of visit of their own. A few players from the End Federation, including their leader Beans, made a trip to Eclipse to discuss diplomatic relations. By the end of their meeting though, it was clear that nothing was resolved and both groups would continue to despise each other as the End Federationists left. In more positive news, a dragon statue was completed in front of the Sky Palace, which was also finished at around the same time. The Sky Palace quickly became the main area of Eclipse, where players met up to mess around, share items, and plan future builds. The palace also served as a starting point for the Elytra flight course that a few players built, which consisted of a few glass rings descending around the main area below. There was also yet another build finished here on day 4, as one player built a giant deer statue made entirely out of stained glass. Overall, End had the most prosperous civilization at this point, and continued being an example of what players working together can look like, something we would finally see play out in the Deep Dark region as well. Progress was now visible on the Great Arch, which served as an entrance to the Crystal Geode area. At spawn, the Tower to the Heavens had been completed, giving players the ability to travel on top of the bedrock ceiling and finally go outside. Gamers that had previously joined the Tiger House started working on their own project. They began work on a huge and highly detailed house that would later become the center for printing daily news articles about the event. The others who did manage to go outside continued clearing out the sidewall area. This included the addition of a mob spawner and safer pathways with rails to prevent the fall deaths that were occasionally occurring. Most team efforts were still made inside the Crystal Geode area, but even with multiple groups and independents living in different places, Deep Dark at least didn't have the dysfunction that the Crystal Ocean biome was starting to develop. Over in Ocean, a group of players who were mad about losing the election started causing problems at the mudkip town of Dorsidon. These players repeatedly tried to provoke the people living there with small acts of griefing, the occasional punch, and simply being stupid. Eventually, these punches turned into fights, and those fights turned into deaths. Because of all this rule breaking, the main Ocean faction led by the Council was allowed to hold a public trial of one of those offenders who had killed someone.
It's just Hibachi. It is just Hibachi.
Is killing all of us for no reason.
Yeah, no reason. Well, he done. Allegedly, he's being charged for RDM, killing, robbing, assault, murder, manslaughter, and some other things. How do you plead, friend?
You need to
execute her.
Yes.
Yeah, like execute Bane.
Yeah,
Give me if we do this, and we're going to be screwed. Like,
oh well. It's one hit. It's literally a child.
This trial, much like their election, would go on for a very long time. So while that's going on, we will instead cut to a more peaceful event taking place at the Ocean and Winter border, where players met up for a trade. Following this, Elite Eric's group set out on their journey through the Crystal Ocean biome on their way to a diplomatic visit to the Deep Dark region.
We could have asked like
Dude, what?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I tried to build and it just kicked me out. Cody, did you see
Wait,
that?
let me test that.
Yeah, I'll teleport you.
That would be really nice. I placed a block and it just like made me fall. So I can like really get like a reset on that. That'd be really nice.
Despite a near-death situation due to a glitch, Eric's traveling group was able to get permission to cross the ocean region, while a different task force was given the order to take out Thunder Underline, who had just logged back in after missing the previous 2 days. This move was secretly planned by Elite Eric, who wanted to separate himself from the assassination to better his chances at being crowned as the new leader. But with the crown in the hands of the player who had gotten the kill, that individual couldn't resist the newfound power in his hands and gave a speech about his own vision for how the biome would be run.
So I understand you guys are in need of some explaining to do on why our leader was just killed. So I want to say that he's not your leader anymore. Thunder Underline wasn't really doing, he's not going to come back. I have to take matters into my own hand. Anyways, yeah, I'm your leader now.
In reality, Raki would only hold on to the crown until Elite Eric's return, at which point he was forced to give it up to the official new leader. And with that main character syndrome moment out of the way, let's go take a look at what the other MCS players in Ocean are doing.
You had your chance to say no. Shut up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ignore that.
Dude, this region is beautiful. Look at these huge crystal mountains.
Oh my
Wow. I'm right behind you. Dude.
This is crazy. This is like a tropical paradise. Mud chips. Mud chips.
In front of us there?
Dude,
Oh, what? That's so cool.
Hey, if I switch to ocean.
That is insane.
Where are you, Eric?
Oh, wow. This is sick.
Dude, I've been using my shaders like all day playing other
This is so cool.
Yeah, I have a boat finally, man.
Dude, I love how we're just getting safe passage. This region is so beautiful.
Dude, they're so fast in the water. They're so fast.
I know, it's insane.
After making their way through the islands, the Winter Squad found the Deep Dark region, having to mine through its walls to get inside since the entire biome was just one big cave. A part of the cave they didn't see was the Chat Shack house, which was finished with heavy details and was home to the individuals making daily newspapers about the server. They had accepted a few new members to live on the island over the days, and became a good example of a group of players simply having fun, not caring one bit about the factions and politics of their biome or any other. And with other Deep Dark players continuing to live on their own in different parts of the massive cave, around half of the biome was now focused on basing around the Arch, a group largely consisting of players from the Timurid faction. It was those players and the ones farming around Spawn who would meet up with the Winter players, who were now visiting their Deep Slate home.
Oh, there's a lot of people. Yo! Eric, what's up?
Dude.
Oh, it's like crystal area. Oh my gosh. What is this?
Watch where you're walking.
I'll make him wait. Also, that bridge is beautiful right there.
Yeah, I know.
All right, you want to meet at that bridge, I guess?
Not gonna lie, I might have to abandon Winter for this.
Bro, you wanted to abandon Winter and Crystal Ocean and now Deep Dark? Are you even
You'd abandon Winter for a Big Mac.
Oh, chill.
There's no shot. From General.
Oh my god.
Getting the true Deep Dark experience during their visit, the Winter players would end the day inside of the Crystal Geode with a peaceful meeting between their leaders. The same could not be said about the End players, however, where rising tensions caused Eclipse players to trap and kill the End Federation's leader, mocking him for several minutes before being freed by the mods. After making sure Beans got his items back, I discovered that there had actually been several joke kills, as a collection of player heads and funny signs filled the inside of the Sky Palace. Another source of fun was the Elytra flight course, which was just completed. A series of glass rings filled the space between the Sky Palace and farms below, making the trip down a little more enjoyable while the End Federation was busy seething. In response to their leader being jumped, the Federationists decided to make multiple seeker bases and meeting locations across the outer edges of the biome, both vowing revenge on Eclipse and planning a civil war for the moment peacetime would end. It also meant alliances between biomes started to change a little, as the End region was no longer looked at as being one, and instead was viewed as two separate factions forming their own relations with others. A lot of days 6 and 7 were spent finishing builds and preparing for the potential start of PvP on day 8, so I'll be combining them here. First, Elite Eric's travel group made their way to the End biome, where they first visited the Graveyard of Funny Deaths. This burial site was made to remember some of the best moments from across the 10 civilization events I have hosted, chosen by a group of players who helped me in selecting them. After this, they were escorted to the main settlement at Eclipse Palace and given a first-class tour of the base.
Yo, I'm good. How are you guys?
Who's breaking our
okay,
blocks?
your guys' regions are so cool. Our region is just so depressing and cold, guys. Y'all have some impressive builds. I cannot lie.
Freezing right now,
Man, you haven't even seen the base.
Oh, is this not the base?
No.
Wait, which way are we going?
All the way up.
All right, everybody up. Sure.
You're so broke compared.
Dude, this is sick. I like this. This is really cool.
Wait,
Also, all these like glowstone like spikes, those just
turn my
look
camera
so
real quick.
sick. I got this all on a shader. This looks unreal.
Dude, yeah, I'm using Astralex, but I'm spinning a circle right now. I need all this.
Eric, it's the best part over here. Over here.
Yeah, I like how you guys just have these runways so you can just jump off with an elytra.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all letting us stop by real quick. This is unreal.
This is way better than the Deep Dark.
Why do you have a deep dark player here, actually? Why was there a deep dark player just following you?
I don't know. I have no idea, but he's just coming with, so... Yeah, he's just with our little group, but we're gonna go talk to Nether, so that's why we're trying to cross the line. So he just
where's he
wanted to
at?
come with. How do we get down from here?
Where's the water
Just
at?
look at the big
It's
blue
like-
blocks of water.
Guys, follow me. There's water like right over here.
At least, hey, someone's civilized, man.
I love it how Eric was just about to jump off the side trying
Yeah,
to
I thought that blackstone was the water.
Oh,
Why is there a piece of lapis right there, boys? Why is there a piece of lapis?
Yeah, that's...
You're kidding me.
Hey, that's going on. It's going in the montage.
All right, I need a TP back then. Are you kidding me?
Cody TP him back.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I should get a trophy for that.
Leaving with a little less friendly relations than before, Eric's group made their way to the Nether biome as new problems continued to develop over an ocean. A majority of those players did not cause problems with each other, and in many cases split off from the main groups to live alone and avoid the team's conflicts, but the people who lost the leader elections and their friends were not happy. After another series of small skirmishes and griefing events, one of the main players of the problematic group was captured and a new meeting was held at Fort Blocks.
Let this be known to anyone else that wants to keep killing our members and starting civil wars and problems, that you will die and will be punished accordingly.
Oh my god.
The death of Alex.
Chill, guys. Oh my god. No, actually, boys.
And
Alex, get out of there. Don't get him out. Don't get Alex. Don't kill him. What?
Keeping his motives a secret this time, main leader Haname gave the order to jump players from the opposing group, and a civil war was officially declared minutes later. This resulted in a few successful kills, but a majority of the targeted players escaped underground and, later, to the Winter region. This brought a permanent end to the conflict, and the Crystal Ocean region was finally able to enjoy peace as the remaining days of the event counted down. Although, they would not be the only ones to suffer from this type of problem. Returning to Deep Dark, we finally got to see the completion of the Great Archway. This arch and the buildings behind it were all decorated with Warden-themed colors, banners, and outlines as those players fully embraced their biome's identity. Other people who were tired of living in caves all day began work on a giant outdoor compass whose end result was intended to be a snow globe hanging off the side of Deep Dark's outer walls. The area in general continued being a new hub for Deep Dark leadership, while the farms around Spawn were largely abandoned in favor of places like here and Chat Shack's shared island. And without any new drama to speak of, we turn our attention over to Nether, where similarly large build projects were completed. An impressive solo build of an airship was created by Stickman Steve, rivaling Mindless's Dragon as the best individual effort on the server. Nearby, a new construction of McDonald's was being built as close to Spawn as possible, with the goal of using that location to serve as many customers across the biomes as they could. Meanwhile, STCC continued putting their brand logo everywhere, and discovered that if they made their letters large enough, their branding would be visible from space in the daily map renders I was publishing. Nether also received a visit from Elite Eric's group, who would both gain and lose a member this time. Barbarito had been following them all the way from Deep Dark, and now the Big No from Nether joined them as they said goodbye to Florkslord, who opted to remain behind and live in a house at the Bone Society. And with their journey across the world complete, there was a violent new development coming out of the End biome, as one of the End Federation members were killed at random, with the accusation being placed against Eclipse. These two factions had already disliked each other and been trash-talking on Discord throughout the event, but this new action would cause a civil war as both sides agreed to fight it out in hardcore mode. Eclipse had already been preparing for this moment for days in advance, and actually snuck a spy into the End Federation's ranks to gain their trust and reveal their secret hideout's location. And with Supplied Pizza supplying the cords, a strike team was sent out as the remainder of Eclipse players took shelter in the hive.
He's on everybody's team. Like, he's playing both sides.
Wait,
so
idea.
Let's 1v1.
Wait, FFK's here, FFK's here.
Let's go, team. Can I kill Stormwolf?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Pizza,
Yes.
you rescinded your request to speak.
And there we go. Bye, Storm.
And there goes Storm. Anyway, I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, they're not
people.
even fighting.
They're the ones who called for the Civil War.
they agreed to it.
After a long series of chases, every single End Federation player was hunted down and killed. I was later told that part of the reason Eclipse went to war like this was to prevent any Elytras from falling into enemy hands, as it was seen as a potential weakness to their secret skybase that had just finished construction. But with all the opposition within the biome eliminated, Eclipse could rest easy and join the rest of the world's leadership in gathering for the newly declared World Peace meeting. In a new effort led by Nether, each biome sent a leader or representative from their largest faction to participate in talks about keeping the peace going forward.
Brothers and sisters, we have gathered here as nations beyond different biomes, as one coalition to thrive for world peace. Now, I myself am a fan of world peace. I've been striving for it myself in my biome, and I believe most of you have been doing the same. So what will it take to achieve world peace between all of you? Our vow as nations, among other nations, should be one of peace, and we should strive for that peace by giving each other a word here today. If one nation becomes war hungry and attacks another nation, all nations will defend the defending nation. So that will prevent all mass-scale conflicts. But that goes for every nation. So Ocean, for example, cannot declare war on Winter. Winter cannot declare war on Deep Dark. Deep Dark cannot declare war on End. If you declare a war, all nations will go to war with you. Does that sound fair, everyone?
Alright.
Yeah,
sure.
Yep.
The World Peace meeting did not sit well with the leaders of Winter and Deep Dark, especially after having seen civil wars in the Nether and Ocean regions. Even the End region had since fallen victim to infighting, leaving the very nations calling for peace appearing to be the most violent. Because of this, secret communications occur between Elite Eric and Dog Cramps, who agreed that following this world peace plan led by nations who can't follow their own rules was just hypocritical. Instead, they made plans to secure their own peace for their nations.
So, I'm sorry that I have not been super public with everybody. That's because we have had spies in our nation and I haven't been allowed to discuss with everybody. But basically, what's been happening the last couple of days is the End region and the Deep Dark and us have all teamed up to take out all of Crystal Ocean and the Nether regions. The World Peace Pact is a scam, led by the Nether and backed by the Crystal Ocean regions. They have lied to our faces and are so full of themselves it's almost humorous. But don't let that fool you, as they are corrupt, narcissistic leaders never to be trusted again. Right now, a highly skilled team is on the move, tasked with the demolition that connects our region to the Nether. Those bridges will nullify any alliance from us to the World Peace Pact. The fighters from the Winter region, myself included, and anybody else who would like to join, are going to take on the Nether and Crystal Ocean regions.
As the warriors of Winter and Deep Dark secretly assembled at spawn, their efforts would not go unnoticed, and word quickly spread to the other teams. Upon hearing this, the various tribes of Nether were gathered, and allies called in from the Crystal Ocean region to join in their defense of the Great Nether Tower. They had spent the entire week preparing for this moment. So many resources, so much time and effort poured into the construction of this massive lava tower designed to utilize the fire resistance ability perfectly. And now, it was finally put to the test.
Before the floodgates open, can we just lie here
fight till it's all over. I hear the violence come and turn and run inside. You build your walls but can't forget the hate. You hide, damn to finally meet you in the
Yo, somebody drop a cart. Somebody drop a cart. Drop the cart where there's so many kids are. Drop it on them. Drop it on them.
Oh! I killed a kid!
Yeah, usually like defense never wins, but I feel like this one that like yeah. Alright, let's do this.
Just really want to make sure.
Drop a card at -217, 1021. Let's get hit. This is gonna hit. This is gonna hit. Let's go.
Dropping a full-on card.
Almost just killed
He's dropping another one.
on south. I'm checking south right now. In south side,
I can see one person that's building in bone blocks.
Guys, in south side,
over there.
in this
Do
pathway.
you see that guy over there on the bone block tower?
Guys,
Oh my god, they're getting destroyed!
Nether and their allies successfully defeated multiple attempts to reach the top of their base. Every time an attacker got close to the platform, they were met with a swarm of players who would knock them back, remove their water, and cover their towers with lava. Other players took full advantage of their lava resistance ability when both repairing the base and occasionally trapping attackers in lava. This coordination forced the invaders to try another approach, who then decided to try tunneling into the tower while already halfway up, working as a team to punch a hole through to the center.
All there! Yo, I see the name tags. They're coming up. They're coming up.
Whoa, I see them.
Yo, they're breaking into the base. Oh, we gotta go down. Go down. Everybody jump. All right. Like 5 of us go. 5 of us go. It's 2 of them, so we should say go. They're right here. You see me. Wait, no, that's John Fortnite, bro. Where's
They're breaking into the wall.
yeah, they're in the wall.
We got it. Uh-oh.
They are already in the wall.
Break it.
Really
Just start breaking their shit. Just start breaking it. Just break their shit. They can't get up if we break it.
They have resistance to damage. We have resistance to flames.
This is hilarious. I'm gonna cut off. We need to cut them off. We need to cut off their exit.
They're literally running.
We need to cut off their
Their
exit.
offense is getting absolutely obliterated. Ow.
They're abandoning ship. They're pulling back.
What's the point?
Bro, they're placing wood to block.
Calling a fourth retreat from the tower, the Winter and Deep Dark players met up to discuss a new approach since their attempts to break through had completely failed. They then decided to try and brute force their way into winning the battle not as a group, but by giving all of their region's special items to one player in hopes that it would be enough to overpower the enemy. The only previous success they had had up to this point was from picking off defenders who had strayed too far from the tower. An opportunity would soon be given to them though, as the Nether players grew increasingly confident in their abilities, with several deciding to drop down to the bottom of the tower to finish the fight.
Help!
Can you guys help me, bro?
Yo, chat, I think they might need help.
Hey guys, let's just go down and kill them.
Yo, should we jump?
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Let's go, boys! Go!
Yo, focus somebody else.
There's too many of them.
Attacks him! Attacks him!
I'm not afraid to die.
Despite having such a strong start, the Nether players made the only mistake they could and strayed too far from the tower that had protected them. Rather than be patient, they got caught up in a cycle of saving players who had left, who then needed help themselves, resulting in more and more players becoming vulnerable outside the lava walls. Now those same players were fleeing to the ocean biome to regroup at their castle, as Ocean prepared to make their own attempts to defend their land from the invaders they knew would follow. The Eclipse faction meanwhile continued to mostly stay out of the conflict, and instead served customers at their very own Waffle House, which remained open throughout the war. But before that battle continued, we redistributed the netherite and special items to stay with the players from the biomes they originally came from, for reasons. And then went back to letting the players do whatever they wanted, which for Winter and Deep Dark meant a full-scale invasion of the Crystal Ocean region. After a brief meeting at the town hall, all of the remaining players made their way to the center of the world, leaving only the most peaceful individuals behind on the main island. It was there that the first of several strike groups invaded Ocean's territory to scout out their base's location, while Haname gave one final rallying speech to his surviving army.
People of Ocean, these are rough times. There is no denying that. Our biome has never faced a greater threat. But I say this to my people. We will not lose. I tried to partake in world peace. I tried to avoid conflict with the other biomes. I tried it all. But the other biomes believe we are weak, that our biome is crumbling, and that we have no order. But that is where they're wrong. Your leadership remains strong. Our civil wars have not separated us, but made us learn and become stronger. Ocean biome is more united than ever. So I say if they wish to attack us, they are going to their deathbeds, as we will not allow all we have worked for to go to waste. Ocean is strong, and Ocean will be victorious.
They're coming, Dylan.
Yeah, they're coming!
Oh my goodness gracious.
Netherite! Why are they on full netherite?
Like, deep dark. They're flanking.
Around the left side.
Got that shit on them.
There's a tunnel. What?
They're mining in. They're mining in. I see players down there. I see players down there.
They're trying to look for an easy way up.
There isn't. I know.
The castle defenders were able to hold out against several attack waves, with the End and Ocean players' hit-and-run tactics being crucial to stalling and distracting the invaders from their goal. And while this was successful in pulling the attackers away from the base, it ultimately didn't cause many casualties. So when the leader of this effort, Kyrathia, fell in battle, it became too weak of a distraction to hold the Winter and Deep Dark players back. And with the leaders of both biomes present in this fight, the invasion was more organized than in Nether and allowed for better coordination of the tunnels being mined under the base, where a breakthrough would soon occur.
Underneath us! In the base? They're right under us! They're right under us!
The enemy is.
Yeah, they're still trying to break that.
I'm a dead person.
They're digging it up! They're digging up! They're digging up! I see them!
You're
Right!
They're breaching! They're breaching! They're breaching! They're in!
I'm gonna die! Go!
Despite holding off several attack waves from the surrounding hill, the castle defenders could not stop an invasion from within and quickly fell once the attackers reached the upper floors. Ocean's castle design was not suited to take advantage of their biome's special abilities, and as a result, it was actually the players who stayed outside of the base who had the most success. Their natural speed advantage in water made winning 1v1s and escaping very easy, while their own fortress ended up being nothing more than a tomb. Because of this failure, the surviving defenders were escorted into the End region, who would now serve as the final bastion of defense against the Winter and Deep Dark Alliance. End players had broken their neutrality by intervening in the war, and knew they would inevitably face the consequences of that decision. Back home in Winter, a big celebration took place to honor the back-to-back victories in the war. Deep Dark players were invited to join in on the party, which included multiple team photos around the Town Hall and Dragon statue, as well as a fireworks show made by the nation's peaceful players who stayed out of the conflict.
Get in the hot tub, get comfortable.
Let's get lit on the
Let's get lit on the dance floor.
Day 9 started off with a new beginning for the refugee players from the war, who started working on a new base with the assistance of their End allies on their own floating island. This new base looked like it would actually utilize water, as the players turned most of the island into a lake since there was no ocean to take advantage of. The Nether players didn't create anything with lava this time though, and instead worked on a sky base above the island and represented themselves with more SDCC branding. Other players set up their own Nether residence in the Eclipse region of the biome and enjoyed exploring new land they had never seen before. Eventually, they realized they were not the only players exploring the End region, as a band of spies were caught trying to scout out Eclipse's base location. These players were from the Deep Dark region and were quickly dealt with before getting too far, but there was another group who got a lot closer to succeeding in their goal. Back at the Sky Palace and Farms, a group of Winter players known as the Anarchists had found the city's location and reported it back to the others before continuing their search for where all the End players were actually hiding. The real Eclipse skybase was hidden in a corner of the biome and had been strictly kept secret all this time, to the point where a civil war was fought just to help keep it that way. And now, that group of Anarchist players were dangerously close to it, coming within just a few hundred blocks of the skybase before a group of End fighters were dispatched to their location after failing to find them in the palace. This incursion had crossed the line in the eyes of Eclipse leadership and caused them to change their mindset from a defensive standpoint to an aggressive one. They decided that the fighting should take place as far away from the End region as possible, so a strike force was assembled and war was officially declared.
Wait, no,
they're there?
Yeah, they are.
Yo,
fighters!
Yo!
Whoa!
Hi, Scythers!
What's up, gang? Are they?
What's good, gang?
What's good, Scythers? How's your day? Have they like arrived on the island yet?
No, they're gliding in. So
Oh, really?
Don't get hit off. Don't get hit off.
Don't let them hit you off. Don't let them hit you off the island. If you get hit off the island, you're dead.
We're not gonna sky battle. Like the light
So what are we gonna do about the stasis then?
Not a whole lot happened during this war, which mainly consisted of both sides failing to make a meaningful impact against the other. Several small chases took place as end players deployed mosquito tactics, flying around looking for players to hit and run before stasising away. This prevented them from doing meaningful damage most of the time though, resulting in some frustration being let out by players who decided to commit arson by burning down several of Winter's buildings. This action unintentionally led to the death of Deep Dark's leader, Dog Cramps, whose boat was destroyed by the flames during an attempt to chase down an end player. They were not the only nation to lose a leader during this conflict though, as Fluxion was later caught in cobwebs during one of many chases.
Put him in a cobweb, bro. Finally.
Got him. W!
Hexif held the crown for Winter as Elite Eric was unable to attend the event for the day, which was perhaps a good decision because the players of both sides hated this war. And to be honest, you could probably sum it all up with this meme. Eventually, the bees stopped buzzing around and returned back to the hive as a sort of stalemate took place to end the 9th day of the event. With off-the-server discussions taking place, it became clear that no one wanted this annoying war to continue. Winter and Deep Dark players threatened to hide underground in Deep Dark's caves to take away End's flight advantage, while End players appeared to be untouchable with their skybase above the void, causing no one to even want to bother trying to invade it. And with that, a ceasefire was declared and signed by the leaders of each side, bringing an official end to the last conflict of the event. However, we did decide to run a simulation of what an end siege might have looked like after the final day ended. But before that point, players had one last day to explore regions of the map they hadn't yet seen, making it the perfect time to tour other teams' bases without fear of being attacked. For others, it meant returning home to visit old builds one last time, showing them off to other players, and executing griefers. Other, more respectable players were honored in a graveyard created on a remote island in Ocean to remember those who fell during their nation's castle siege. During this time, we decided to revive any players who wanted to participate in the simulated siege, as well as let a few individuals switch sides to help out with the fact that End was outnumbered by a ratio of more than 2 to 1. This ultimately didn't make a difference though, as the outcome would end up being a little one-sided. You see, I had already joined the Eclipse players on their training server before this point, so I already knew the exact type of beatdown that was about to happen.
Guys, they're bridging over. They're getting kind of close from the tower.
They're getting kind of close? Okay, wait.
Let's go. Everyone rush up! Let's go!
Okay, I'm going in for a kill right now.
Yo, let's go. Let's go, boys.
I got someone.
Let's go, bro.
There's a nether dude all by himself on the obsidian next to End.
Time to move.
Oh, that's one kill. I'm knocking them into the void. I got 2 off.
Guys,
Alright, I'm just knocking people off at this point. This is funny.
Good job, team. I like what I'm seeing. Keep it up.
Is there anyone at the top of the tower that's not us?
I'm getting rid of their bridge.
We're on the tower right now.
We have control of the tower.
Okay, let's go.
We have control of the tower.
Can you stasis Jake?
Stasis Cody.
Stasis Tsunami.
Cody, you want to jump on top of the tower and knock them off?
I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, wait.
They're also putting a lower bridge, but we don't care about the lower bridge as much. Big thing, get rid of water. If they fall into the void and die, we are happy.
We lost Felix.
Pillager, I'm coming with you.
Pillager might need a stasis.
Stasis Jake.
Yo, Pope Pillager. Pope Pillager.
Get out of there. Get out of there. I have TNT. I have TNT.
Guys, if we get rid of water, they can take fall damage.
Someone's here.
Combat log.
Thomas is below fighting someone too.
We need stasis.
Yo.
Get ready to stasis Jake. Get ready to stasis Jake.
Stasis Dog Cramps.
Stasis Cody.
Polish.
Stasis Jake. Stasis Jake.
There's people in here. There's people down here.
Look out.
That's what I was scared of the whole
TNT.
time. No shot to kill Donnie.
That was the craziest stasis ever. As soon as I stasis, I got the last hit to hit him in the void.
Hey, can you stay to Jake?
Yeah, cover it in lava too. Cover it in lava.
I'm fixing Everyone go to the top of the tower. We can just take it.
I'm going after someone. Yes, I got this guy. Brody's down. Okay, stasis Cody.
Stasis Jake! Stasis Jake!
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, Cody, let's go.
After a while, the tower was taken back from the attackers and their sky bridges destroyed, clearing the way for Eclipse players to use the tower as a launch pad as the battle was taken to the lower levels.
There's a dude you can knock off into the void. By the big mountain, there's just one guy switching back.
I see him and I'm on him. Let's go. When I scream goal, you know what to do. I'll follow you.
Alright, follow me.
Going down with Pillager
Nice,
to
nice.
fight Adolf.
Yep, I'm with Cody, don't worry.
Yep, alright, let's go.
Can you Stasis
Okay,
Jake?
he's down. Okay, he fell really
No way.
far.
Don't worry, I'll get him, don't worry. Oh, he caught my log.
Oh, he did. Well, alright.
For a moment there, it didn't work.
Alright, I'm going around the tower if you still need help, Jake.
Oh, yeah. They fell, mate.
What?
Oh, that was crazy, bro.
Wait, was there a cart hidden there?
Because there's a light trail.
What
I
hit
have no
me?
idea. You just did a suicide, bro.
What hit me there?
Also, Cody.
It was a cart.
I got one shot from like 13 or 14 hearts.
I think Stasis.
Did anyone see that?
Are they also? I need a TP.
Like
Bro,
it
what
was.
are they
I didn't even
saying?
see the cart. I just instantly died.
I'm getting